Yo, fellas, if y'all want to see me wife a girl that looks like this, or even this, tap in with my Instagram, man. My goal is 10K followers. If y'all active, I will follow back. Come on, y'all. I know we could do it, but hey, here go the vid.
He's tough and super fun to watch. He does everything so well. He gets everybody involved. He can shoot it, get to the rim. Sneaky athletic too. If I had to watch somebody play and me pay to watch, he goes in that category.
So no matter what people say about him or how he's playing, he competes. I know they love that about him because every night he shows up and plays hard. So that's something you can't teach.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. I go by Sean Diallo to be exact. Did he say Diallo? Ain't that like the sauce packets that be at Taco Bell? Bro, what is you talking about? That's Diablo. Oh, yeah. Well, at least his name ain't NPC or something. What's your initials? SD? Like a SD card? Bro, I'm not finna call him SD card. Hey, Sean, what's your middle name, bro? It's Trey. Wait, Sean Trey Diallo? So we went from NPC to STD. Hey, chill. We just gonna call him Sean, bro. But go ahead and continue your story, my guy. I bet you're wondering how I got in this position to be a potential main character on BB3's channel. Well, I can go by simply saying I was a showstopper, a human highlight reel. When I was younger, my parents got me into basketball. Now, me being overseas, it would be hard for me to get into a Division I university. So that blessed me with the opportunity to potentially go pro at a young age. I've been grinding basketball since I was like 8 years old, and I officially made the pro team when I was 17. First couple years was rough, but now that I'm sitting at 19, almost 20, I started turning up. I got my buzz from having some of the most viral clips ever. Nobody in overseas ball was really doing it like that. Now, they definitely got some ballers, but when you think of a human highlight reel, like a Ja Morant, LeBron James, Kobe, MJ, I definitely got that capability. But let me tell y'all how my last season overseas went. It was definitely one for the books. Alright, so let me start off by saying my road definitely wasn't easy. Like I just told y'all, I've been doing this since I was 17. And at first, I struggled to even make it off the bench. At the start of this season, I was sitting at the 6-man spot, and I was looking to get into that starting lineup. But our team, we was stacked from top to bottom. I mean, they had some vets who had been hooping over here for 10 years. So I definitely had a lot to prove, but I definitely had the talent. We hopped into things a little fast, so let me explain to y'all my play style a little bit. My best attribute is definitely handling the rock. I model my game after like a Kayell or an AI, but I'm sitting at 6'5" though. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. I could really do anything. I could rebound, play defense, push the tempo, but mainly, I look to do things on the offensive end. My coach has been telling me since I first joined the team, he thought I was a real complete player. And if you put me in an NBA game today, my offensive capabilities, man, they shoot through the roof. Now my defense definitely needs some work, but one thing I can also do is pass the rock, as I throw the lob up to our center, and he drop in the nice lay. You see, most people don't understand how hard it is to play overseas. It's different rules, and it's not as much opportunity. So to be real with y'all, if you overseas and you want to make it to the NBA, man, you got to be cold for sure. Hey! Most people think of FC Barcelona, they definitely think of Messi and soccer. However, after this year, they definitely was looking at the basketball team as well. I really put us on the map. It was after a slow start though. I mean, in my first game, I wasn't going as crazy as I did at the end of the season, and that's mainly because this was my first year being a 6-man. Normally I was like barely getting in the game. I would always go crazy in garbage time though. I'd be putting up an insane amount of buckets in little time. And after going crazy in a lot of off-season scrimmages, coach finally decided it was time to pull the trigger on me. No Melly. Now let's get into why they call me the overseas highlight reel. Man, if I had somebody on me one-on-one, I was looking to put them in a blender every single time, like a ninja. Get it? Ninja blender? Yeah, you get it. It took me a while to get that confidence though. You can only imagine being 19 years old and you playing under the bright lights in a professional league with some people who already got kids and families. But if you got a dream of making it to the league, eventually, don't none of that matter. You want to get to where you want to go, and you ain't gonna let nothing stop you. But as this game was getting close to halftime, we had a sizable lead, and I was doing things here and there, throwing a bunch of live passes, getting the crowd hype, sometimes ISOing, but I was finding my teammates pretty well this game, if I do say so myself. But like I said, I gotta work on that defense a little bit. You see, if a guy that's over here drop about 30, 40 on you, that mean if you go to the NBA, you might get about 60 put on your head. So that's definitely an area that I need to work on so that doesn't happen. But on the other end, you already know what it was. Straight Swiss cheese as I drive to the lane and hit a crazy acrobatic layup right over their PG. I told y'all, on offense, that's where I thrive, man. I could do it with some of the best of them. At least that's the confidence I got. My lay package was really different, bro. Think of like Kyrie lays, Jamal Crawford type of lays. I'ma be in that category pretty soon, if not already. Don't think I'm trying to say I'm better than those guys. I mean, those is NBA legends. I gotta give respect when it's due. But as the game winded down in the third quarter, this would be my last play. I ain't get too much time as a sixth man at the beginning of the season. That would grow over time. And I ain't cracked 20 points this game, but trust me, y'all wanna stick around, cause it's definitely gonna get wicked. If any of y'all ever played Elden Ring, you already know how difficult that is. And that's exactly what I was going through game in and game out. The teams just got better and better. You see, the difference in playing pro basketball at 19 and going to like a Division I school, everybody is a pro. So nobody's really bad. I mean, everybody's fairly decent. This is the game where I started to separate myself though. Man, I had this one play. I came down the court. I hit this dude with some mean crossover. And little did I know, I would be in the SC top 10 shortly after that. But man, I remember that play like it was yesterday. I hit him with a behind the back, and he was stumbling all over the place. You could hear the whole crowd. And I just pulled up for the mid-range because a center was camping in the paint, and it was nothing but net. It was at that moment early where I realized if I could somehow master my craft, man, a lot of these dudes gonna be in trouble. And my NBA dreams would get closer and closer. So that's exactly what I set out to do. I started getting way more aggressive. And I mean calling ISO every time I come down the court aggressive. And as I've been watching the NBA lately, I think the best player in the league as of right now is Corey Cash. I mean, winning 2 rings in 2 years with 2 different teams is too crazy. You feel me? But I drove to the lane, got this spin move, and ended up getting the and one bucket. I'm just paying homage to my guy, man, that's all. I'm also a fan of Lonnie Wade, though. Man, that dude could shoot. When it comes to Corey and Lonnie, though, one thing I think that's underrated about both of their games is their dribbling skills. I mean, the way they can get to where they want on the floor is crazy. That's exactly why I told y'all. I'm trying to get to that type of level. But if I can get there, I don't think it's going to be a single person on this earth that's going to be able to stop me. I'm confident though. But on the other end, they just hit the corner 3 right in my grill. Man, I'm over here talking about offense so much, I forgot to play defense. I told y'all, everybody over here is a pro and everybody got talent. It's not like you got some bench guys who are just okay. Even the guys on the bench might mess around and give you 30. But in this game, I just kept getting more confident as the game went on. I even rose up and dunked over their center. I didn't even think I had that in me. I definitely have a 37-inch vertical. It's not like a 40 or nothing crazy. I never really use it though. And if I do, it's just to get a tough layup or something. I'm not really big on dunking, but after that one, I wanted to dunk almost every possession. But man, the defenders overseas be hating. It's always somebody camping on the paint. You don't got the original 3-second rule, so they just be waiting. So I had to incorporate a floater into my game. And I also had to get my mid-range right. You see, that's a slept-on part of the game. Most of these kids nowadays just want to shoot threes or dunk. But the mid-range, if you master that, you could be a problem. Why don't everybody want to be 3-level scorers? They just want to be inside and out. I never understood that. Hey! And the game was already decided, but that did not stop me from going crazy. At the end, with 22 seconds left, y'all seen it, I rose up. I told y'all I don't be using my vertical like that, so that was the perfect point to go ahead and try something. Even though we lost this game, I dominated all around. Of course, I wasn't happy about the team not winning, but from a personal standpoint, I was frying them boys. Stir frying, no Migos. RP Takeoff. Not only that, I also had a lot of highlight plays this game. It looked like I was playing street ball out there. Only thing is, it wasn't street ball. This was a professional game. But I made it look like we was playing NBA 2K or something. But with that being said, I had a 30-piece wing dinner, lemon pepper and garlic parmesan in this game. Hold the fries. But they did get fried though. We was on to the next. Now this next game, we was back at the crib after having a long road stretch. And let me tell you, it feel good when you hooping in your home arena. I actually felt like I played a little more confident when we was at home. But I guess that's how all hoopers do it. And we started off this game hot. We was beating this team. But man, they started hitting some wide open shots from 3 because we was not playing no type of defense. I mean, every time we got up against a team, we would think we could just settle, let our foot off the gas. But that's not even the case overseas. They don't do that in the well, they do that in the NBA sometimes, but still. Not to mention, we went on this stretch where we could not hit a bucket to save our life. I mean, this one specific play, I hit my teammate wide open for the corner 3, but it turns out it was just a bunch of corner bricks. I mean, we couldn't even hit a hippo in the back with a flat screen TV. But this next play, I absolutely shut the entire arena down. Broke them off and then... Hey! Talk about a sad way to go out. I told y'all during that last game, my confidence was getting higher and higher. I was really an ankle bully out here. By this point in the season, I had a bunch of ankle breakers. Y'all thought I was playing when I said I was a human highlight reel? I mean, I didn't give myself the name. That's what the people gave me. I couldn't even imagine getting crossed all the way into the paint from the 3-point line and then getting dunked on that same possession. If you ask me, that's crazy. Now, BB3 got some crazy plays on his channel. But let me tell you, I think y'all should put that in the top 5 at least. I mean, the only player I seen do that is Corey Cash. I'm not trying to say I'm no Corey Cash, but we ain't seen Lonnie do it. We ain't seen that NPC CPN guy do it. I'm the first to do it a second time. And like a backyard, man, we was playing that defense. Defense, yeah. And then, right after we got this steal, I tossed a lob up, but for some reason, our center did not dunk it. I mean, this dude be acting scary, man, but they don't really be doing no crazy dunks overseas. That's NBA type time, must-see TV. And at this point, I was becoming must-see TV, which is exactly why I decided to keep cooking this whole game. I really had this mode I could tap into where I was just in the zone. I mean, I couldn't hear nobody. All I could see is the basket. And whoever was in front of me, might as well pray. And I was starting to tap into my dribbling bag something crazy. I mean, I was getting super shifty, and defenders wasn't able to stay in front of me easy. And you normally don't see nobody moving this quick at 6'5". But this game had a wonderful performance. Just had to keep going. At this point in the season, a lot of my highlights were surpassing over 500,000 views on all social media platforms, and I also had a few 100,000 followers on Instagram at this point. And that honestly made me want to come out every single night and not just hunt for highlights, but go out there and just have fun with it. And also go out there to destroy any opposition that was in front of me. When a lot of people start to succeed, they tend to slow down. But see me, I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas. My NBA dreams was becoming closer and closer. I got the platform to do it now. With all these followers, I know the NBA had eyes on me. And pretty soon, I will be in a couple different mock drafts. I already knew it. I don't care what number I go, and I honestly don't care what team either. Making it there is just the ultimate goal. I could put my family in a better position and just live out the dream. The next thing I want is an NBA championship. That's a lot of hard work though, as I get the tough layup right over the defender. I told y'all that late package is crazy, but you ain't want to believe me. I don't think this Ricky Rubio lookalike did either, but he soon became a believer. To all the hoopers out there, have you ever went into a game, took the first couple shots, and then the next thing you know, you just pulling whatever and you can't miss for nothing? Yeah, that's how it was for me this game. But not only this game, basically for the rest of the season. I mean, they was playing a lot of good defense on me and keying in on me since I had been going crazy. But just like some double D's versus some B cups, I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it just ain't enough. And if you thought some of the plays you seen up to now was crazy, wait till you see this one. I was pushing in a transition, rolls up, and I don't even know what you call that, but I just brought the ball all the way back down to my kneecap and still hit the lay. I mean, when I went up, I saw the center coming over, so I had to think of something quick. Now that was definitely that Kyrie bag I've been working on. I didn't even know I could do stuff like that. After the season was over with and I was watching my own highlights, that was definitely one of my favorites from the whole year. I mean, that thing was crazy. As much as I could be arrogant and cocky, I really don't be on that type of stuff. I just come out there and I be excited to hoop. I don't really get into all the extra beef and getting into it and fighting. I just come out there and give you buckets. And if you got a problem with that, you gotta stop me. I'm not finna worry about no reporters and press conferences afterwards. You gotta deal with me on the court. All that stuff outside of the court is just extra noise. When we in between them lines, it's like boxers when they get in the ring. It's really all about the last man standing. And if it's me versus you, you best believe I'm gonna be the last man standing. It's just how I was raised. My dad taught me that. And that's the mentality I've had since I was little. Y'all heard of that Mamba mentality, but this the Diallo mentality. And I feel like everybody should have it. And just when you thought it was over, I had another crazy play for the highlight reel. Hit a step back, spin move, and threw up something crazy, and it went in. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, if I was the defender, I'd be heated. Because there's absolutely nothing in the world that you could do about that. I literally threw it up last second, right when my feet was about to hit the floor. Hey, some people just different. And that's exactly how you describe me. And as the game went on, we kept on extending our lead. Hey, we was a pretty dominant team this season. I mean, when we first started, it took us a couple of games for us to get our first loss. And when I say a couple, I mean at least like 10 to 12 games. So maybe it's a little more than a couple. But since we on the topic of couples, that dunk definitely just got me a couple more 1,000 followers. Cause I dunked it right on his head. I don't know why he didn't move out the way. I was gonna lay it at first, but once I seen him, I had no choice. It was either go big or go home. And most of the times when I'm in that situation, it always pays off. I don't ever end up going home, unless it's with a baddie. But you know they say things come better in pairs, so I drove to the lane and got another dunk. And I would end up finishing out this game, my highest point game of the season. 43 of them things. And just like that, here we go. Another one. No DJ Khaled though. But this time, we going against an NBA legend, Kemba Walker. Was I nervous coming into this game? Nah. I played a couple different guys that have been in the league since I've been overseas. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I never really feared them at all. I wanted to go at them even more. I was trying to get the spot that they once had. And as soon as the game started, off the rip, I went straight to the lane, full delay. And we were only 2 possessions into the game when I got my first highlight. Went behind the back and did a reverse lay right after that. Man, I know y'all at home watching. Y'all gotta believe this is must-see TV. I'll be out here doing some stuff your favorite player don't even be doing. Granted, this is overseas and I ain't touched the NBA court yet, but if y'all don't think I got that charisma, that star power, come on, man. Nah, I'm just playing with y'all. Y'all know I'm just here to hoop. As I drove to the lane and got the 3rd layup of the game. Talk about a hot start. After I hit that 3rd layup, I was thinking to myself, man, these boys might be in trouble. But they do got Kemba Walker at the other end, so I gotta steer clear. Cause at any moment, I know that dude could change the outcome of this game. And this one could end up going down to the wire if we both hitting. But we started off with a 10-4 lead, drove to the lane and got yet another wild layup. That was back to back to back to back. Hey! And I know y'all didn't think the crazy layups was over. At this point, I was out there just trying stuff, man. I was really looking like Uncle Drew. Uncle Sean to be exact. But after that layup, this would be where the game would completely change. I ended up picking up my 3rd foul and coach took me out the game for way too long. And them boys ended up finessing the lead. So we went from dominating this team to fighting our way back into this game. And I was leading the charge. I was trying everything humanly possible to put the ball in the basket. And shortly after I got back in, we had another major highlight. Hey! I don't even know why that boy tried to jump. But despite me going crazy, we still had to stop them on the other end. And our defense, for some reason, just couldn't get one. They was hitting shot after shot after shot. I don't know why coach would take me out. I mean, that just threw off the whole rhythm. It didn't throw off my rhythm though, because when I came back in, I just got to doing what I was doing beforehand. But I had to turn it up a notch though. I didn't even know I had this type of switch. But man, y'all thought what I was doing earlier was crazy. This game I went to a whole new level that I didn't even know I could reach. Them boys was mean mugging me up and down the court. And on top of that, I was throwing some crazy passes too. Just trying to get some energy and get my teammates involved. Cause I definitely can't win this game by myself. And we gonna need all of that. We was coming back from a 15-point deficit. Every time we hit a bucket, it felt like we had a chance. But man, Kemba and his team, they was just going insane. They wasn't really missing nothing. So I just kept on attacking. Hey! And I was gonna live with the results. 5 minutes left to go in the 4th. They finally ended up missing the shot. And we drove down, hit that boy with a series of moves, wide open at the lane, easy layup. You know how I do it. At this point in the game, I didn't even know how many points I had. All I knew was we was running out of time and we needed buckets. So really my point count didn't even matter. In the back of my mind though, I did know I was having a great performance for this being my first game starting. To be honest, maybe he should have started me the whole season. I don't think I was ready yet though. I kind of had to grow into the player I am now. The type of player that would be keeping us in a tight game in the 4th quarter, I didn't even think I could do that. Speaking of the 4th quarter, that was the time where Kemba would normally shine. He hit a jump shot right over me. Man, that felt like a punch right in the gut. But I came down on the other end, drove, and ended up getting an one bucket. And in that situation, that's exactly what we needed. This game was close the whole time. You can't be giving up and ones, Kemba. And he knew it. That's exactly what he was telling his teammate. And with the help of my heroic activities, we ended up getting right back in this game. We was down by 2, with about 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. You know me, I call ISO on Kemba. And I ended up throwing down the one-hand jam. Next possession they scored, so I call ISO again. It wasn't a dunk this time though. It ended up being a smooth layup, which made it a tie game. And on the other end, it was Kemba Walker time. He drove and somehow hit the shot over 2 people. I thought our center had a good chance at blocking that, but he just missed it by like a centimeter. And Kemba was trying to taunt afterwards. And me personally, I didn't take that lightly. So on the next possession, I drove right on him. Got the nice little pro hop, and I threw up the layup, but I low-key knew I missed it. Luckily, my teammate followed up, got the putback, and he made that thing. Man, I was hyped. We had the lead, and all we had to do was just close this game out. And they ended up fouling me. I just had to hit my free throws. And on the season, I was an 83% shooter from the line. So my team was not worried with giving me the ball in that situation. And just like that, man, I hit both, and we would end up closing this game out. Back-to-back incredible performances, not to mention, these highlights was going to be all over social media. Just like that, we was at the last game of the season. Well, not for the team, but for me. And I'm going to tell y'all why in a minute. But we started off how we normally do, hitting a crazy highlight. This time it was the first play of the game though. It wasn't like the second or third. Now they had a tough point guard in Chris Jones on this team. So I was just looking to outduel them and see what I could do up against them. I mean, their team wasn't better than us, and we knew that. As I drove and got a tough layup right over their center. But like I was saying, they was tough, but not tough enough. I had a conversation with my coach before this game, and he was just telling me how he respected the way I approached the game. I mean, even with all this media attention and the chance that I was going to go to the NBA, I always stayed locked in. I had been that way since he had known me as a 17-year-old kid, just trying to make it. 2 years later, I didn't even think I'd be in the position I was in. But low-key, coach told me he did. That's why he took the chance on putting me in the lineup more this year. And ultimately, it paid off. Luckily, I stayed in the gym and stayed focused. And if I didn't, man, I probably would have ended up falling off the board like a lot of guys do. So I'm really blessed to be in this position. Let me be living proof to everyone watching. If you just put your mind into it, stay consistent, and have a passion for it, man, you could do anything you want. I'm a kid from overseas who about to be playing professional basketball in the NBA, the biggest league in the world, with the best of them. And some of the guys who have come from different countries are some of the biggest stars in the NBA. You got Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. Hey, maybe Diallo will be in that conversation pretty soon. And on this play right here, I ended up crossing this dude into the shadow realm. Got the nice easy layup to finish. My handle had really came a long way. It went from good to great to extremely great. Now I was basically crossing the defender over every possession. My boy Corey Cash got the nickname the Nightmare in Transition. I might be the Nightmare in the half court. But ironically, the next possession we was in transition and I ended up pushing it and rose up for a nice two-handed jam, no toast, no butter. But in the words of the great announcer on NBA Jam, he's heating up. And I started to go crazy, man. I wasn't missing no shots. It's like something snapped. That switch was flipped. And I don't even know who this dude was that was guarding me, but I'm gonna have to send some flowers to his mama crib after this, cause that boy got smoked. Welcome to the bonus stage, young brother. You ain't making it out of this stage though, cause once I start dribbling, hey man, you might as well grab your Bible, grab your holy water, and ask Jesus to help you, cause at that point that's the only man that can. I think my step back midi was becoming elite. If a defender somehow ended up stopping me from driving to the lane, that would be my go-to. I mean, who can stop a step back, first of all, especially if you're good at it? Y'all know how James Harden used to smoke people with that? I mean, Luka got a mean step back too. But just make sure y'all don't forget about your boy Diallo. To close out this game, we was firing on all cylinders. My teammates was hitting shots too. It wasn't just me. And man, this season was everything I expected it to be. And I'm just talking about the idea of me growing into a better player. But it turns out, not only did I do that, I grew into an elite player. And I was going so crazy on social media, the world know who I am now. Just a kid playing overseas ball at 19 that's finna be in the NBA. I know the girls back at home watching is gonna love this. I'm telling you, man, that's gonna be one of my biggest distractions when I make it to the league. But if I can survive from the overseas foreign women, I think I'll be alright. However, we still had a game to finish. These boys weren't completely over with yet. We had an 11-point lead and it was almost halftime. Called for the nice screen and roll, drove to the lane, got another acrobatic layup as I usually do. Kept going with the screen and roll action, and I posted this dude up by the free throw line. Turn around fade, no MJ, no Kobe. Really tapping into that bag. And on this play, I ended up missing the layup, but it's all good. Swiper, no swiping. Let me get that right back and throw the flashy pass right to our center. The human highlight reel was in full effect. 8 seconds left to go. You already know what I'm doing. Calling ISO, drove to the lane, dished it off, and we got the flush with 1.3 left to go. To be real though, there was a couple times this game where I basically did travel. The refs just didn't see it, I guess. But hey, I'm not no ref, so I ain't gonna say nothing if y'all don't say nothing. But as long as we putting points on the board, I don't care if I get away with 5 steps. Even though most likely that'll never happen. But 49-33, still had some game left to go. Drove and got another easy finish. I think it was easy, maybe difficult to y'all. Nah, I'm playing, but kept on getting in attack mode and just doing a bunch of crazy stuff with the layups. Really just experimenting out there. And at this point, we was up by Dub Club. And to make it worse, I got another and one bucket. It's like the 3rd time in this movie, right? Don't get me wrong, it was only the 3rd quarter, but I feel like both teams definitely knew that this thing was over with. They started doubling me. I really didn't know why they did that, like I couldn't pass. Because on this play, I found my teammate wide open for the tray ball. And you already know what he do. Boom! Knocked it down, and that was basically the dagger. We was gonna get them boys out of here. But for me, this would be my last game overseas. With all the draft buzz, I decided to opt out so I could focus on my work and get ready for this next chapter in my life. It was definitely a difficult decision. We was good. We could have even competed for a championship. But I talked to my coach about it, and he agreed that this would be the best decision for me. A lot of the mock drafts got me in the top 10. Hey man, my dreams is finna come true. Now the only question that's left to be answered is, will I be a role player? Will I end up being the main character? I guess stay tuned and find out.
Little Buffalo's out for blood.